Hi, my name is Shelby Darby, and I did my internship with Friendshop, which will be an app. It's currently in development right now. I found my internship by thinking of first my ideal career, what I want to go into. I want to create tutorials for children's toys and technology so that it's more beneficial and less detrimental to their development. That's what I enjoyed learning most about at BYU, Idaho. And so, I have a friend in my network who is developing an app where I thought my undergraduate studies would help her finish this app. And so I sold myself on areas where I thought I could help her, and I have a particular understanding or even expertise to make her want me to work with her to make it worth it. So I had her sign on the dotted line as my supervisor, and we went from there. So my responsibilities. I performed a lot of assistant duties with her. I took notes, help her prioritize things, categorize. A lot of it was just information processing. Within app development, you're working with a lot of people all at the same time to get things going. And so whether she was dealing with patent law or working with the tech team and the development team or getting feedback from the market, there were so many areas where it just came down to listening to what she was saying as this creator and developer, and saying, okay, well, it sounds to me like this is what we need to focus on, and took direction and went from there. I also did, I ended up doing patent research. We found that some areas of her app already have a patent, and so we needed to read these patents, which were massive, and find areas that they were different. So that's something I looked into, had to study up on, and became a little bit better at, but that's probably a generous self-assessment there. So I also did ad development. That's something I've done on the side. I am self-employed, and I've created a lot of ads for my company, and so I made ads for her while we were in the developing process. I also did market research. I reached out to therapists and mental health professionals in a variety of areas to talk to them about the app if they thought this would benefit them, and got their feedback. So that was fun. I also dealt with a lot of stuff that had nothing to do with marriage and family studies, but I found that my degree alone helped me to work with my supervisor, who was a single mom and also running a real estate business and she had this genius idea for an app, and she contacted developers, and she's doing it. And now her app is estimated at current value. It's not even on the market at a very high price. So the other thing I did a lot of was categorization, which is just a part of app developing. For her app, the way it works is, say you need a therapist, but you don't know of anybody specifically, and so you go into the app and you type in, say, marriage counselor, and what will pop up are your friends and your friends of friends on Facebook who either are marriage counselors or have recently reviewed a marriage counselor. And so it's just a way to network with people kind of in your circle to perform a service. And so I did that within the realm of marriage and family studies, but I also did that outside of that realm. So anything from like a plumber to a software engineer. There are so many areas where we would prefer to deal with people we know, or maybe someone you went to middle school with, that you have a fond memory with, or you're just excited that they've made it in whatever career you're in need of. And so I did a lot of categorization and attaching keywords to help make that search easy and doable. What I had to offer. I did free ad creation. I did all the categorization. I offered a listening ear. I gave a lot of task feedback. And at BYU Idaho, we used Google a lot, and I went through 3 different versions of iLearn in my time that I was there. So I became more communication savvy and tech savvy, even with using Screencast or Google, Google Docs and PowerPoint and their version of Excel. So I helped kind of translate a lot of her ideas to a way that she could share them with the rest of the team, and I felt like that was valuable. Going back just to add some more detail on task feedback, we looked at mock-ups of the app probably every 3 weeks. There were different parts being added or taken away, and so I gave my input as a millennial in that regard, and I think it was a valuable perspective for her. And a listening ear, we came across many stumbling blocks in my time working with my supervisor, and sometimes I just had to sit there and listen to how stressful it was, which was really insightful for me because I learned a lot about how to persevere, which is something I'm sure I'll have to use throughout the rest of my life. So how did I benefit from this experience? Well, I witnessed firsthand app development. That was just so neat to see this woman who had an idea and said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it on a budget, and I'm going to do it as a single mom. And she's still doing it. And even after my internship ends, I'm still going to work with her. So that's pretty awesome. Watching this woman accomplish something that I would love to do in my life, I have several app ideas, was really fun for me. I was really happy for her and happy to be a part of that process. I was faced with a lot of humbling tasks. Learning about patent law was something I never imagined myself having to do in my time with my supervisor, but I did it, and I feel like I have somewhat of a greater understanding of that. So I also became aware of the challenges of being a startup company. With my supervisor, I mean, this is her baby. This is her idea. She's got 3 young kids, and it came with a lot of challenge to say I'm going to create an app that's competitive and worth my time. So that was fun. And I learned how to be resourceful. I talked with so many people during my time in this internship. Everyone from therapists to counselors to lawyers. It was a really neat experience, and a lot of them were women, which was just a perk for me to see all of these successful, awesome women. It was truly inspiring for me. So some final thoughts. In my sophomore year, I learned about how to do a home assessment, which is going into a home and evaluating parenting and giving feedback that isn't offensive or discouraging. Rather, you focus on the strengths and the things that parents are good at and help them recognize their potential and continue to build upon those strengths. So I did that a lot with my supervisor. She was really overwhelmed by this thing that she'd never done before that is expensive and costs a lot of money, but she has this brilliant idea and the work ethic and the discipline to bring this idea to make her a lot of money and help everyone. And so in my feedback, I used some of those skills that I learned my sophomore year. I would totally recommend this experience to anyone who's looking to do an internship. I think that as this app moves further along, now that we're out of the categorization and reaching to people who have studied marriage and family studies or are in that career field, it'll be harder to relate this internship to that degree. But I think it would be really good for anyone who's in app development or doing IT. However, you never know. So if you're interested, you should totally reach out to my supervisor. Her name's Stacy Heilig, and I've attached her email here. Thank you guys for listening to my assessment, and good luck.